Good evening, traders. Zach here from the Trading Network. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Monday, April 19th, and I've got another daily market profile recap for both the ES and NQ futures markets. So let us start off with the key levels for ES first and foremost. The first level I was looking at was the prior range high at 4183.50. Going over to our profile here, you can see that 4183.50 is indeed the range high from Friday's session. I'll go ahead and highlight that and pull up my trade plan here. And the second level I was looking at on ES was the overnight high at 4174. That was right there. Third level was the prior point of control. That was this 4170 level from Friday. Fourth level was 4161.75. That was Friday's low. And last but not least, I was looking at this naked POC down here at 41.56. All right, so let me get rid of these drawing tools and we will go over to NQ and look at the key levels there. All right, so key levels for NQ, first and foremost, starting off once again with the overnight high at 1452. You can see that guy right there. Second level I was looking at was prior range high, 1441. Third level, just like ES, was that prior POC from Friday, 14,016. And the next level I was looking at was the prior value area low from Friday at 13,994. That also coincided with the overnight point of control right here at 13,994, same level. And last but not least, prior range low at 13,953 was that last downside level I was looking at. My thought was just briefly, if we were going to get that downside continuation, that this was the level to break, and that is indeed what we saw today. So let's dive into my pre-market analysis. So with that said, we were also looking to open within range, but outside of value from Friday's session, right? So you can see that if I pull up or I zoom in, I should say, and we look at O period, here is the open right there, okay? You can see that we opened outside of yesterday's value area, but within Friday's range. And then going over to ES, same thing. You can see here is the open, and we opened right outside of value. Value area low from Friday was 41.67, and we opened right around 41.66, okay? So with ES, we had basically very little directional conviction until we got that push below the lows, okay? So that's why I was looking at, as you guys will see, the line in the sand as 41.67. So if we could open up here and move back into value from Friday, I was looking for a retest of value area high and the highs from Friday. But we opened up, we moved up to the POC, we tapped that from Friday, and then we got rejected and moved swiftly down and never really revisited this area in the entire rest of the session. So I know I'm kind of hopping around here, but you can see that I said at the time of writing, 30 minutes before open, ES and NQ are looking to open below Friday's value area. So that just kind of backs up what I said here. You can see that we opened outside of value on ES. Going over here, we opened outside of value on NQ, okay? Here's where we opened. Here's the value area, just to be abundantly clear there. So with that said, because overnight inventory is in balance to the short side, the higher probability when that happens is also to see the overnight corrected to the upside. Now, we need, levels to break to the upside and hold in order for that conviction to develop or that overnight inventory to be corrected. But, generally speaking, that's the higher probability play to fade the overnight. So today I was looking at the prior value area low on ES at 41.67. I will just highlight that right here. And on NQ, I was looking at the overnight low at 13,946. So with that said, as my line in the sand level on NQ, I was looking at this 13,956, 13,946 area. And you can see that this was a very important area. We had the overnight low from the 14th Globex session. We had the overnight low from the 15th and the 16th Globex. Range low from the 16th, overnight low from that most recent session, 18th into 19th, okay? So this was a major line in the sand level. If we broke it, I was looking for that flush to the downside, which we indeed did get. So if we did not move and hold above those levels, my line in the sand levels, 41.67 on ES and 13,956 on NQ, then I was looking for that flush to the downside, which is indeed what we saw today. So moving down here, just to reiterate, you can see that I said upon open, I was looking to see if we could get acceptance above 41.67 on ES and 13.956 on NQ. If we could hold above those levels, I was looking for that upside directional conviction to correct the short overnight inventory, which was the higher probability play. So just, to make this abundantly clear, the lower probability play did occur today. So if we did not hold above those levels, I was looking for that move back into value area from Thursday, and that is precisely what we got. So getting into the targets here, flip back over to ES, and we will start first and foremost with our upside targets, which are short and sweet. Our first and only upside target that got hit was that 41.70 level. That was that naked POC from Friday's session, and we got rejected basically as soon as we tapped that. Today's high was 41.7150, and we got rejected right back down and did not meet any of those higher targets. You can see, just for reference, my higher targets were the overnight high, value area high from Friday, overnight high, and then we had that high from Friday as well, the range high to be specific. So on the downside, that is where we got our action on NQ today. First downside target was 41.61. That was the prior range low from Friday's session. Second downside target was 41.57. 41.57 was right in this area. There was some confluence between the overnight point of control from the 15th into the 16th session, as well as 41.56, which was our regular trading hours point of control from April 15th. So after 57 got hit, we got moved swiftly down into those overnight lows from that same 15th into 16th session. And then after the 41.54 level got hit to the downside, I was looking at 41.50. Now 41.50 was the value area low from that 15th session, just a few points below that. And as you guys might know, I keep it simple. I use these profile levels as my targets because those are the highest probability levels, or the highest probability areas that price is going to move into if these levels break. Okay, so just think of these levels as magnets. If 41.54 breaks to the downside, very, very likely 41.51 is going to get tapped. And if this breaks, then, obviously we're looking at 49, 46, 41 area. So to the downside, our last target was indeed 41.41. And you can see, pretty cool enough, that was our low for the day. So obviously we missed technically that low by 2 ticks, but we did hit 41.41. So, if you took the break of this, even targeted this, pretty high probability trade there. And hopefully, you're pulling in profit and not worrying about those extra 2 ticks. All right, so I just realized things got blocked off a little bit there. So just to show you guys and be a little bit more clear here, after that 41.54 level got hit, next level I was looking at was the 41.50 area. That was confluent with the value area low from the 4.15 session from last week. And that was my second to last downside target that was hit. So after 41.50, I was looking at 41.41, which was indeed the range low from that same session, April 15th, and it ended up being today's low within 2 ticks, actually. So just, for example, if you guys took a short off the break of 41.46, targeting 41, you're going to likely take profit regardless of whether it's a tick or 2 difference from the target, watching candlestick structure and just paying attention to what the market's telling you. That's a really good trade. And furthermore, if you took the break of the line in the sand level, 67 or 60, right, you could really hold that trade and just wait and watch reaction to these levels and see if price could work through them. And if you have the patience, a lot of days when we finally get that directional conviction, you will see price slowly work through those levels, and it is very, very orderly. So all in all, on ES, bears were in control. I mean, it was a little choppy for the most part, but we could not move and hold above that Friday POC. We couldn't move and hold above the overnight point of control. And when that happens, that is bearish. Okay, so bears were in control, and we did not get much upside action at all. Very similar to NQ as well, where the bears were indeed in control. I'll go ahead and get rid of these drawing tools, and I will actually hide these as well. And we'll get into the targets here. So on NQ, let me just move this a little bit here. So on NQ, the line in the sand was 13.956. I was basically looking at this area. You can really draw like a zone when you have a lot of these profile levels lining up, as we discussed, right? Lots of confluence there. So I was looking at this zone to hold up, and obviously the line in the sand was very, very important. okay? And as you guys remember, we opened outside of range, okay? We opened down here and we came up and we probed this area. We could not find higher time frame players. We couldn't find other time frame players, as Jim Dalton calls it, to come in and find value inside of Friday's value area. This was rejected. This was not accepted as fair value. And down here, between 13,846 and 13,926, that is what has been accepted as fair value after today's session, okay? So starting with the upside targets, once again, we did have a little bit more action on the upside on NQ. And the first upside target that was hit was actually the 13,977 level. 13,977 was right in this area. That was the overnight point of control from the April 15th into 16th session. We had 972 as the overnight point of control from the April 13th into 14th session as well. And then we had a little bit of confluence right here at the prior value area low, 13,967. So once again, kind of using this as a zone, if you will. But that was the first level that got hit. The second level that got hit was indeed more direct. That was 13,994, a lot of confluence there. Overnight POC from the most recent session, and then the prior value area low from last Friday. The third upside target hit was our last upside target that got even close to where price was, but we actually didn't hit it. We got within 3 points. So a similar scenario to ES, where we got within 2 ticks of that target. If you get within a few points on NQ, watch price, you see that we put in a bit of a single print selling tail there. When you see that, I mean, that should be enough evidence to take your profit, even if you took the break in 94 or 94 to 13. That's a pretty damn good trade. So just wanted to kind of point that out about the targets. They will very often go to the exact number a lot of times, but if they don't and they get close to your target, don't hold your trade. I mean, this is kind of a tangent, but for instance, you know, like if you take the break of 13,994 targeting 14.16, don't hold your trade all the way back to 13,994 just because you didn't get that extra 3 points. You know, look for your candlestick structure, your topping structure, your oscillators to curl and cross over to the downside and cut it. So to the downside, we had a little bit more action as we saw on ES as well. When we got that break of the line in the sand level right here, right in this area, the first downside target that I was interested in was 13,923. 13,923 was the low from not Friday, but Thursday's session right here, the April 15th regular trading hour session. Second downside target was 13,887. That was the point of control from the April 14th session right there. And that was also ended up being very, very close to today's current POC as well at 13,892. Third downside target on NQ was 13,866. You can see 13,866. This was the range low from April 13th's regular trading hour session. And I'm basically, once again, just going through these levels, looking for levels that have the most confluence, profile levels or multiple profile levels that line up. For instance, like this. This is why I use this as the line in the sand, because there's so much confluence here. A ton of levels lining up. So keep that in mind as well if you're using the profile and, you know, creating your own trade plans or picking out your own targets. So the second to last downside target I was looking at was 13,813. You can see that was the overnight point of control right here. And to be honest, I probably should have picked this one. They were pretty close, but we didn't get there. So not really a huge deal. 13,821 ended up being the low of the day. Very, very close to this overnight point of control right here. And if I would have zoomed out a little bit, you know, you can see that there's a little bit more confluence in this 41 to 28 area. So, you know, maybe I could have picked some targets right there. But all in all, immense opportunity on the downside with NQ today. If you were able to just be patient, wait for your setups, make sure that you were precise with your entries because it was a little choppy. So you could have taken the right trade idea at the wrong time and gotten stopped out many times. So on a day like today, it's very, very important to make sure that you are waiting and you're very precise with your entries. So, you know, you're not giving up trades that are correct on the idea, but not so correct or not so proper on the execution. So all in all, it was an interesting day. I will enlarge this a little bit real quick. And you can see that on the upside on ES, we got 1 out of 5 upside targets hit. On the downside for ES, we got, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 5 downside targets hit. On NQ, it was a little bit more balanced, however. We got 3 out of, well, you could say 2, and we got within 3 points of that third upside target. So we got 2 very close to 3 upside targets hit. With all that said, I greatly appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this content. If you do dig what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. And also leave a comment if you have any questions, comments, or would like to see some other content that I haven't posted yet. Also, check out the link in the description below where you will find our free Facebook group, first and foremost, where I release these trade plans every morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. You will also find access to the tradingnetwork.io, which is our website, where you can learn more about one-on-one mentorship with me. I offer 4-week programs, 10-week programs, and a few other varying lengths. You can also learn more about the Trading Network Proprietary Indicator Package. You can join the Trading Network private Discord, where you can watch me trade live daily, Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And last but not least, you can gain access to the Fundamentals of Futures Trading course. The Fft course is a comprehensive course with multiple strategies for varying market conditions, and we also offer bundles. So you can get the Trading Network Proprietary Indicator Package. You can also get lifetime Discord access included for free with purchase of the Fundamentals of Futures Trading, and you can take advantage of a payment plan to make it a little bit easier on your wallet as well. If you guys have any questions about mentorship or any of the products I mentioned, as always, don't hesitate to reach out any way that you can find me. Instagram, Facebook, email, Discord. Hit me up anytime, and I'm here to help. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Trading Network, and I will see you soon.